Trumpers will say all votes for Harris are fraudulent, but if you were to ask them, what is your evidence of that, or how does the fraud scheme work, they won't have an answer. I talk a lot on this channel about how I think that that is indicative of the fact that I think conservatives have a different cognitive experience of language than the rest of us. By that, I mean they're not using the word fraud to say there's an actual fraud happening, right? Because if that were the case, they'd be able to explain it and show evidence of it. It's almost more like they're using it as an emotional descriptor. It feels fraudulent. It feels like Harris does not have the right to win. When they say it's cheating, it's because it feels like cheating. Because in their reality, the reality that they've constructed, the bubble that they live in, it is not possible for her to be winning. The American conservative has like this particular type of psychology where they act as if authority establishes truth, whereas the rest of us kind of act like truth should establish authority. So for them, it really matters. It's a matter of life and death. Who is just the person sitting in a position of authority? If a non-white liberal woman can ascend to the presidency and can be accepted as an authority figure, it upsets their way of understanding the world. It would force them to confront the fact that the racial hierarchy is not a naturally occurring thing. It's something that white people engineered in this country. It would force them to reckon with the fact that gendered jobs is not a thing. It's imaginary. It would force them to face the fact that most Americans are culturally very liberal. I see a lot of people on TikTok talking about how the MAGA movement is sowing the seeds of doubt in democracy and the electoral process as a way of getting everybody ready for Trump's challenging the results in court. And yeah, that's one way to look at it. But the way I see it is they are psychologically preparing themselves. They are trying to convince themselves, rewrite their own history and their own narrative to say American democracy is not meritocracy, because they need for that now to be true, so that when a black liberal woman becomes the president, they are insulated from having to do any introspection. They need to live in a world where she wasn't supposed to become the president, as a way of protecting themselves from having to look at their own fucked up understanding of the world.